Hello out there. My name is Byron Williams, former NFL player. I'm with the NFL Players Association, and when I'm not in the community, I'm listening to Mr. Ed Gray, the commish.
All right, back again. The Commish Radio Show. This time we started it off a little different. This time we didn't do the champions here. We started off with, Byron and my fellow members of the NFL Alumni Association. I know a lot of y'all didn't realize that I am a member, past member of the NFL Alumni Association, among the many things I've done. But among them, also many things that I've done as well, I've ran for office before. And people say, hey, look, how do you know all these people? Well, hey, I've been involved in this a long time. And the place that I ran for office at was in Arlington, Texas. And I'm very happy to be here with the mayor of Arlington. How you doing, man?
I'm good, Ed. How you doing, brother?
Doing all right. Hey, you're into a very contested race out there.
Yeah. This one's the most contested I've been in right now.
Who'd you make mad?
Well, several people, I think, but the bottom line is I've made my predecessor angry. I didn't come in and kiss the ring and do all the stuff that he expected me to do. I focused on doing good stuff for Arlington, not for him.
Now, that being said, one of the things that brought me out to Arlington last week, I think I just saw you last week. I was at the city council meeting last week. Yeah. And I walked through and I saw a lot of people that I knew and everything, but I also saw some people there that were quite upset about the stadium. What's going on over with the stadium?
Well, we've just entered into the contract with the Cowboys to extend their stay here in Arlington to 2055. We've done it with no new taxes, no new referendum, no negative impact, no extension on a payback time for the bond package, no new nothing. The Cowboys fronting all $1 billion plus investment into the AT&T Stadium and surrounding areas. It's a great deal for Arlington. It's a great deal for the Cowboys. And in today's world where everybody's trying to steal your franchise team away from you, we have been successful in keeping the world's most valuable franchise in Arlington for the next 30 years.
Now, $1 billion, that's how much the Cowboys are going to be fronting?
They're going to front a little over $1 billion. The city's portion of that is going to be $273 million, paid out of tax revenues for the next 20 years, but we won't pay any money out of pocket to get this thing off the ground. We won't have any new taxes, no new bond initiative, because what we're doing is we're refinancing the bond portion that was approved back in 2004. This is the fourth time it's been refinanced. We're not extending the life of the payback or anything such as that. It's still going to be paid back within the time limits. So there's no need to go back before the voters again, because the voters have already overwhelmingly approved us to do exactly what we're doing.
Now, a lot of people, Mayor, was there that was talking about this, and they feel like there's going to be some kind of sneaky way in which you guys are going to be raising taxes.
No, there's no sneaky way of raising taxes. Let me tell you, this is as transparent and above board as anybody can be. Arlington has been selected by Wallet Hub as the best run city in North Texas, the second best run in the entire state of Texas. You don't have to take my word for it. There's accolades out there for everything. This is as transparent as it can be, and there are no new taxes to keep the Cowboys here for 30 years.
Okay, I heard no new taxes before. That sounds like something that...
Have you heard it from Jim Ross?
I just heard it from you.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So
That's
no
right.
new taxes.
No new taxes.
Okay. Now, why would people in Arlington think that there would be some taxes there?
Well, it is costing Arlington $273 million. Now, the $273 million is coming from the initial bond package that was voted on in 2004. That $273 million will be paid back from tax revenue over 20 years. But here's the deal. The way the law works, that tax revenue has to either go into paying off the bonds or you lose it. You can't take paid off tax revenue and say, okay, now we're going to go ahead and hire more police and fire because the law doesn't permit you to do that. I can't take the revenue that we're saving from paying off the stadium early and use that in my general fund. Once it's paid off, once you stop using that tax revenue, you lose it. It goes away. So what we're doing is we're able to continuously use that tax revenue rather than having it just go away, but we're using it in a way that keeps the Cowboys here for 30 years. And by the way, it's important to know that the economic impact for Arlington, just for having AT&T Stadium there, is $324 million a year. That's not Arlington, the city of Arlington's pocketbooks ringing or the cash register ringing. That's small business all over the community. Cash registers ringing, realtors, restaurants, retail stores, you name it. That's everybody else's cash register ringing. $324 million a year. That's why when you were at city council, you saw small business owners stand up and say, this is my livelihood. This is why I'm here in Arlington. Wow. The Lowe's organization came and said, let me tell you, Lowe's would not be building their third monstrous hotel had it not been for the fact that Arlington had AT&T and Globe Life Field. We would not have Texas Live but for the fact that we had AT&T and Globe Life Field. We would not have our new convention center had we not had AT&T and Globe Life Field, or One Ranger Way, and we can go on. Those are our anchors. We own those assets. We're investing into the security and maintenance of our assets. The Cowboys are our tenants there. People have a misconception because they think, well, Jerry Jones, he must be worth 20, 30 billion.
Because he owns the stadium.
He doesn't own the stadium.
You mean he doesn't own the stadium?
He does not.
That's a setup question. I already knew the answer. I'm just trying to keep the conversation.
But that's a huge misunderstanding and a misnomer. Jerry doesn't own AT&T. The city of Arlington does. The Rangers do not own Globe Life Field. The city of Arlington does. They pay us rent to be there. They pay us rent when somebody like AT&T puts their name on that. We get $500,000 a year.
I'm Pastor Freddie Haynes. I listen to the Commish Show on the Fishbowl for my social activism information so I can be a better agitator.
Let it play. All right, we're back again. See, you didn't got Pastor Haynes preaching over there, and so go back to what you were saying.
So he doesn't own any of that. We own that. And what this $273 million is going to do, we're going to put incredible protections in there for the pedestrians coming and going out of AT&T. You know, if you've been there during game day or concerts, Taylor Swift or Bruno Mars was at Globe Life Field recently. If you've been there through any of these things, you know that the pedestrian traffic at Collins and Randall Mill and Collins and Division is crazy. We got to get people off the ground. We got to get them up.
So you got a pedestrian way.
Crosswalks up in the air.
I get that, yeah.
To protect those people. We don't want a New Orleans type of incident where somebody's running through the crowd here. We want to get people away from the vehicular traffic, and that's part of what this 273 is doing. 273.
You got the attorney over here, Calvin. He's just body language, man. You're just all into this, man.
Well, when you think about it, and people have to understand sports, when you look at the Cowboys, like, they are the most valuable sports asset in the world, and people have to understand that. And when you have the most valuable sports asset in your city, you want to retain that particular asset because that asset is going to generate money. They didn't become the most valuable sports asset by not generating dollars, and they're going to generate dollars for your community. So you want to make sure that if you have an opportunity to retain an asset for an additional 30 years and generate economic development small businesses being able to continue to build hotels, restaurants being able to serve customers. And you're also, and let's be honest, people don't understand this. 3 years from now, the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex will be the third largest metropolitan area in the United States, only after New York and Los Angeles. Why not hold on to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas Stadium there, or AT&T Stadium there? I mean, you got to do what you got to do. If you're going to hold on to them for 30 years and have that money coming in, then you got a forward-thinking mayor. And listen, you got my vote. If I lived in Arlington, I would definitely vote for you. It makes sense to me.
Well, you know, the campaign being what it is now, do you think that vote came at the wrong time?
Well, listen, here's the reality.
Into the mic.
Here's the reality. The Cowboys came to us. Now, let's say you own this building, and you have a bunch of tenants in this building, and one of your tenants come in here and they say, Mr. Gray, we love being here. We want to stay here. We want to do some things, but we're going to have to be able to show our people funding our projects that we're doing that we're going to be a tenant here for a long time. Do you mind if we go ahead and extend our lease for another 15 years on top of what's already there? As the landlord, you're going to say, hell yeah, let's do that. So when the Cowboys came to us and said, we'd like to extend our lease, we like where we're at, we like what's going on, can we do that? Well, yeah, we can do that. Let's get this thing done. And they wanted to get it done now. Listen, it would have been safer for me to do this beyond the election. It would have been much safer for me not to have to deal with this and try to answer about doing this during the election. I wasn't elected to play it safe. I wasn't elected to do anything but to serve this community. And lengthening this deal with the Cowboys is servicing this community. This is providing tremendous economic impact for 30 years. I haven't done it, but you could pull it up on your phone. $324 million a year for 30 years. What's that going to be? I don't know. Billions and billions and billions of dollars worth of economic impact for small business.
It's over $1 trillion.
Over $1 trillion. There you go.
There's no math involved in this for me, man. Not on my show.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's why I didn't pull mine out.
I just know it's over $1 trillion in my head.
And that's small business. So, yeah, I mean, could we have done that? But then here's what happens. You say, listen, we'd love to extend it, but we have an election going on. Let's hold off and doing it for a little while. And then in a little while, maybe Frisco or Plano or Dallas or somebody comes up to the Cowboys and they say, wait a minute, we got a deal over here for you. And the Cowboys decide they start looking around and shopping this thing a little bit.
Were they looking around and shopping?
I don't have any idea. I hope not.
Well, it doesn't matter now, right?
It doesn't matter now because I got them for 30 years. But let's say they start doing all of that and they leave at the end of their lease now. Now, we still own the best stadium in the world, but we don't have anybody playing in it.
Okay, now let's segue to another stadium that's there that's empty right now.
Choctaw.
Yeah, what's up with Choctaw?
Well, we got several things up with Choctaw. We've got potential stuff out there.
Like a gambling casino?
Not so much like a gambling casino, because I think we got to do something about the lieutenant governor before that happens, because Dan Patrick does not want casinos here. So I think casinos may be a day or two before they get here. But I think, I'd like to see.
Because the last time you was on the show, that's where we were at.
No, they were getting close, but they're still talking.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of talking that needs to be done before it happens. So I think something cool would be maybe a team that plays on ice, like the Stars, come over and let's convert this to an indoor arena and a mixed-use development, and we put the Dallas Stars inside Choctaw Stadium, turn that into a nice, beautiful indoor arena, because you only need like 4 acres to have the arena, and inside the walls of Choctaw is 12 acres, and you can imagine mixed-use development with office and retail and high-end luxury apartments and an arena in there, so we can have 3 major league franchises within walking
You trying to take
distance
everything
of it.
that's in Dallas, man?
I'm just trying to make
know I'm a
Arlington
Dallas
the best
guy,
I can
man.
do it, brother. I'm trying to. I'm not the mayor of Dallas. I am the mayor of the American Dream City.
Okay, we're gonna have Eric Johnson come on next.
Oh my goodness.
But you know, that's what you would want to do with Choctaw.
It's one of the potentials there. Another potential, they got this thing in Vegas called the Sphere. You seen it? It's a
Yes.
beautiful concert venue. What if we had a small Sphere, 10,000 seat capacity coming up out of Choctaw Stadium? What if we had something cool like that? That was another attraction. So we've got a lot of good things that we're talking to people about that can go in the Choctaw, but we got to get the right deal at the right time. And it's those big deals don't happen overnight. See, I have a little different philosophy about doing business deals than the average person, than the average mayor. I don't chase businesses, like I don't chase the stars to get them over, and I don't chase the Sphere, and I didn't chase the Cowboys to extend their lease. What we chase is relationships. Because when you build a relationship, people want to do more things with you.
Yeah.
We all have friends that we're close to. We have those good relationships. When we hang out, we cook out in the backyard, we bring those people with the good relationships to our house to hang out with us. The same thing holds true with business. You do business with people that you have good relationships with. You don't do business with people you distrust, that you don't like, that you don't love. And I think we need to all focus more on relationships. And that means, and you know, let me just throw it out there where we're talking. Arlington's the most diverse city in the state of Texas. We're the 3rd most diverse city in the country. Last month, we became the 3rd most diverse city in the entire country. I believe we're the most diverse is because we're the most welcoming. I am a 65-year-old white heterosexual Christian man. So that's how I see the world. You may find this hard to believe, but I've never been black.
Really?
I'm telling you, never been black. I've never been a woman. I've never been Asian.
Okay, just double check it.
I've never been Muslim. I've never been Hindu. I've never been anything but what I am. So I created 13 different advisory councils that I meet with every month.
And you meet with all of these advisory councils?
Every month.
Now, in all fairness, we first met, how long you been mayor now?
5 years.
5 years. We met 5 years ago.
More than that. I don't think I was mayor quite yet.
Yeah, you wasn't
was I?
mayor then.
Yeah.
You wasn't mayor then. You came, you sought me out.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. I still haven't been out hanging out with you in Arlington like I need to, but
I know.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna fix that though,
Well,
man.
We got to work on our
We
relationship.
got to work on our relationship.
You know?
But working on our relationship, you know, how's working on relationship now dealing with potholes and stuff in Arlington?
Because here's what you do. First of all, I work on the relationships with the different parts of the community. If I want to know what's important to the black community, maybe I should ask them. If I want to know what's important to the women in my community, maybe I should ask them. If I want to know what's important to the Muslims, maybe I should ask them. So that's what I started doing. Sitting around a table like this and talking about good stuff. And most of my councils, we meet over breakfast or lunch or something, so we're breaking bread together and we're having a good time getting to know one another and building relationships. How that works on potholes then is it makes people more comfortable with expressing needs to City Hall. And now they're able to say, Mayor, you got a pothole. It's been 12 foot deep in front of my house for 15 years, and you need to get out here and do something about it. Because otherwise, people don't get comfortable enough to tell the city what's the problem. So that's how we work on it.
You have a very diverse council. I was checking them out. You have Bowie Hogg on there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How is it being with Bowie Hogg, being that he was fired from The Apprentice with Donald Trump before Donald Trump was president?
Yeah, Bowie's a very nice guy. He has a beautiful family, wife, and children. He and I politically do not align.
That's why I asked the question.
Yeah, he and I politically do not align, and we've had some rough times on there. To his credit, he and I have sat down and worked on our relationship. I promise you, I have irritated him. I promise you, he has irritated me. But we're able to work through those things. Democracy doesn't mean you see eye to eye.
It's not supposed to be like that.
It ain't. But it should mean that you could differ and still leave with some love and respect for one another.
Okay, so we're going, Calvin, if you want to chime on with anything.
I just think that's the best way to lead. I think you take yourself out of it in a sense, but you understand that having that relationship in leadership, it's not always about you. It's about making sure you have that relationship so that you can serve your people the best. And I think that's what you're doing. So even when you don't ideally align with somebody, you try to find whatever common ground you have to try to have some kind of relationship with them. And that's basically what you're saying.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And I'm like that with Bowie, with all members of council. None of them and I see 100% alike. Hell, none of us do. We're going to look at some things differently. But it's okay to look at things differently. Just be respectful of that. And I would argue that in council, 99.99% of the time, we're like that. Bowie and I don't agree we agree sometimes, but we don't agree on certain things. And we're both stubborn. We're both very opinionated. But at the end of the day, I believe he knows that I still love and respect him as a human being, and I believe he does me as well.
Now, policing. How are we doing with policing in Arlington?
Ooh, man, first of all, I used to be a cop. I used to be a cop in Arlington. I was part of their first SWAT team. I spent 7 years undercover buying drugs for a living. I think I'm the only mayor that's been like that. But let me tell you, in the last 5 years for law enforcement, we have decreased crime every year for 5 years. Last year, we decreased crime by more than 12%. Arlington is now listed as the second safest city in Texas and the 7th safest city in the entire country. So we're killing it.
7th.
7th in the nation.
Now, when I was at council, I believe it was the gentleman from Lowe's who was representing Lowe's. He was saying that Arlington was a small city between two large cities, and I don't think some people realize that Arlington is larger than Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
We're larger than Pittsburgh. We're larger than St. Louis, Cincinnati, New Orleans. We're about the same size. Tampa, Florida, and us go back and forth for the 50th largest city in the country. We go back and forth with one another. The only difference between us and those cities is they're all the hubs of their metropolitan area. And we're not. We didn't start as a hub for our metropolitan area. We started as a sleepy little bedroom community between Dallas and Fort
Right,
Worth.
exactly.
And then we grew into a pretty big metropolitan area. So we're a unique city that we're the largest city in the country that's not the hub for that metropolitan area.
And Grand Prairie's getting up kind of close.
Yes.
Grand Prairie's doing great.
200,000 people, larger than Jackson, Mississippi, now,
We-
state capital of Mississippi.
We got some of the best neighbors on the face of the earth, period, bar none.
Now, when I was running for office in Arlington, and I said something about mass transportation, that normally sets some people off. What's the deal with mass transportation in Arlington?
So here's the deal. Mass transit is problematic in North Texas, first of all. Arlington, we have rideshare program, probably the most robust rideshare program in the country that gets people around Arlington. The problem really is How do you get people from Denton to Dallas, from Dallas to Arlington, from Arlington to Fort Worth, from Fort Worth back up to Denton, and every place in between? How do you do that realistically? You have 3 transit authorities, and you have a group of non-members like us in Grand Prairie. The problem is a lack of regionalization in North Texas. We're about to pass Chicago as the 3rd largest metropolitan area in the country, and we have yet to develop a regionalized transit system in North Texas that can move people around effectively. That's sad. So what we have done, Arlington, we have proposed to the Regional Transportation Council that we look at exploring a technology-based transit authority, one that isn't necessarily basing it on how to build bigger roads and put more cars on the roads, but how do we use technology to move people around, whether it's high-speed rail, whether it's other type of transit, whether it is moving items around more than people, like we have certain drone deliveries in Arlington. We offer drone deliveries for a number of our stores where a drone will fly in and lower a package down to your front yard. Now, that's being innovative. That's stuff that we can do.
See, I was just in Chicago 2 weeks ago, and their train system runs pretty good. And I was in D.C., and I was able to get on a train, and I was going out to North Bethesda, around that area, and I was able to get out a train and walk about 1,000 feet to my hotel room.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where the Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Grand Prairie, we have to do a better job of that. And I'm glad that you're thinking like that, because what you just said, we're growing. We're going to be the 3rd largest metropolitan area. And I think the fact that you are forward thinking is something that I think every mayor like yourself and the mayor of the other areas need to start thinking about that regional transportation issue.
But I'm going to tell you, this is an uphill battle in Texas, because with our administration in Texas, with our administration in the United States right now, the oil and gas lobbyists are big powers in Texas. And when you're getting your money as a legislature and everything else, and you're getting it from these oil and gas lobbyists, and they're telling you we need bigger roads and bigger cars and bigger this, that's where the attention's going. It's not going to transit stuff. So you're seeing resistance at a state and federal level regarding regional transportation, a transit system that can regionalize stuff. You know, a high-speed rail between Houston and Dallas is imperative. I was in Japan last year, and I took the high-speed rail,
Right.
the bullet train from Osaka to Tokyo. Oh my God, it was phenomenal. I mean, you're flying down the track. It was like you're just floating in air, and a couple hours later, you're done. And you traveled all across the country. And then you get out in Tokyo, the largest metropolitan area in the world, was beautiful. No trash cans, but no trash anywhere on the streets. Culturally, they have developed in a way that really beautifies the city and moves people around. In Texas, we got to do something to get caught up, because we are behind the
Just
curve.
putting up a sign saying "Don't mess with Texas" is just gonna get it right.
Yeah, ain't
It's
gonna
not
get
gonna do
it.
Ain't gonna
You
get
know, we can write country music all day long. It ain't gonna save the world.
All right. Saving the world. If we just want to save a little part of it, let's start with Arlington. So if you could just look right into that camera there and tell us why we should vote for you, Jim
Well,
Ross.
here's what I'll tell you. I knew that 5 years ago when I became mayor, we need to have a thriving Arlington. And the way you make a community thrive is you have to increase your job growth. You got to give people a reason to want to be in your city. And that's good paying jobs. In 5 years, we've brought nearly 30,000 new jobs to Arlington. We've increased the average wage by more than 20%, and we now have 13 new North American or world headquarters that call Arlington home. We're the second safest city in the state of Texas. We are the best run city in North Texas, the second best run in the state of Texas. That's not my word for it. That's everybody else talking about what's going on in Arlington. We are the entertainment hub for the Southwest United States, and I'm warning Orlando right now, who's number one, we're going to catch you. So if you want to come to a place that is the most diverse city, you want to come to Arlington. Because in Arlington, we don't care who you worship, how you worship, we don't care who you love, we don't care what your skin color looks like. When you come there, you're going to know that you were loved and respected in Arlington. And we've got a lot going on. And if you're out there and you're an Arlington resident, give me your vote. This is my last term, 3 more years, and then I'm done. I'll be termed out. But we want to finish what we started.
All right. Thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate
Thank
you as
brother.
always.
I appreciate you. Good
Appreciate
seeing you again.
Thanks, Ed. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Calvin.
Great.
And you've been listening to the Commish Radio Show podcast, and you were listening to Mayor Jim Ross of Arlington, Texas. Hey, and guess what? Guess what? We will see you at the World Cup at Dallas Stadium.
Oh, man, you don't end like that.
All right, that's what we do. Cut us.